Dead Before Dawn 3D. So this is a 2014 strange kind of comedy zombie film, and it basically is a sort of a slapstick comedy that kind of pokes fun at the kind of the horror genre, but it has a very strange tone. Let me tell you about the plot first of all. So it basically focuses on a group of sort of stereotypical, I think probably by design, bunch of American high school kids, and one of them is basically the sort of descendant of some kind of mystical lineage, and his grandfather owns this kind of a cult shop where there's this kind of like magical urn with a skull on it, and a group of his friends decide to kind of go in there while he's working in there, and they accidentally break the skull, and it apparently houses this sort of kind of like evil spirit, and when they break it they basically say this kind of random curse that is probably going to happen, and there's stuff like basically anytime they make an eye contact with another human, that human will then kill themselves and come back as a cross between a zombie and a demon and try and kill them with hickeys, and you can kind of make them your slave by French kissing them and things like that. So it's kind of this strange kind of setup basically, and of course it happens, and basically our kind of group of heroes have to sort of try and find the cure to the curse before dawn. So the weird thing you're going to find about this movie is the tone of it, because it kind of plays like a kids like TV program that you'll kind of see on, I don't know, the Disney Channel and stuff like that, basically, with the side of the fact that it's got quite a lot of gore in it, but just the kind of the way it kind of, it's not a kind of realistic film, it's this kind of like hyper reality, if that makes sense, where people are sort of over exaggerated and kind of very sort of joking, kind of like you would, like I say, like if you can imagine watching a kind of a kids drama, like a comedy drama, they act like that, like kind of Saved Like the Bell, that sort of thing. But you kind of throw that into this sort of zombie. And to be fair, the things, the creatures are zombies for all intended purposes. The demon thing is certainly less apparent, but it's a very strange mix, because if you are, you like your traditional zombie films and things like that, the sense of humour here really kind of may not be for you. And I have to say the first kind of 15-20 minutes of this film were quite grating, because that's all it is. It's just these kind of guys acting really, really goofy, and before we kind of get to the kind of the horror elements, it comes across as quite grating, and it's kind of really sort of overly cheesy. The actual gore is actually fairly good, and the actual kind of the amount of extras they've got kind of running around as kind of zombies and stuff as well. You've also got Christopher Lloyd doing the kind of the cranky old sort of grandfather, and he has a Back to the Future Easter egg in there as well. But the actual the tone of the film here is going to be the selling point for you, because it's so not serious, and it's like the Three Stooges. It's kind of very slapstick humour. For me, it's not my sense of humour. I found it quite grating, and it was a shame, because in a way the idea behind it was quite fun, and it obviously is meant to be a bit of a kind of a parody almost of the kind of the horror genre, and kind of poke fun at itself, but in at the same time it's got its kind of own story that it kind of wants to tell. But although I kind of quite liked some of the original ideas behind it, it just comes across as such a kind of annoying film to have to sit through. And all the characters are meant to be these cliches, but they're so exaggerated. It just becomes across as really just a kind of a very irritating film to watch in a lot of ways, and the humour just doesn't work. It might work for you, and that's the thing. If you like this kind of humour, then I think you may get along with it. But for me, I just thought it came across as very sort of crass, and the main guy in it, who you may know from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I think he was in the TV show The 100 as well, is not a likeable sort of protagonist, basically. And it's one of these things where obviously the high school kids are played by a lot older actors and stuff like that. It has got its kind of fun, and there are a couple of things that are quite fun, but everything is so exaggerated. You just can't get into it. I don't think so. I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 10. I do think it'll probably have its audience, and it has got some kind of some pretty good effects in regards to the sort of the zombie effects and the kind of the gore and stuff like that. But the tone of this film is really going to kind of split kind of audiences. I just don't think it'll be for many people. So 4 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.